This is Street Topics, where we keep it raw and unfiltered. We talk about the topics that you are afraid to, but we are not. You got myself, you got Sim, and then of course the one and only Donald Baker. He may make you mad or he may have you laughing. It's depending on how the mood you feel. Regardless, we gonna keep it true, get the facts, and keep it controversial. Are you ready for this episode of Street Topics? Stay tuned, y'all.
What up, what up, what up? It's another episode of Street Topics. We're here live and raw. It's your boy C. Holmes, ready to throw in for this heated topic of today. We're talking about the freedom of speech. Now, you know that I can't just do it by my own. I gotta come to Haymaker, the general himself. He gonna come from the trenches. He may throw a grenade. He may take your head off, but hey, you asked when he came in the trenches. But talking about the one and only Johnson.
Man, what's going on, man? I'm ready to jump on this because in this climate itself, man, this is something that is not new. It is not new, but we want to make it seem like it's new.
I know, right? I mean, freedom of speech is not new, but we want to make it seem like it's new. So I want to go ahead and start like this. It seems like, especially in today's climate, I'm not going to go into details of the reason a minute. We all are aware of that. But I want to specifically focus on the cost of freedom of speech. We've pretty much heard that ever since like elementary, intermediate. I mean, you have the right to speak how you plead and much more. But it seems like in today's climate, you're constantly seeing consequences for expressing yourself or limited due to certain environments, or political reasons and much more. So is freedom of speech really free, or is this just a social construct that we just tell each other on a daily basis?
Well, actually, it's a social construct that we tell each other day to day, and we've been programmed to believe in the narrative that we have free speech, even though it's written in the Constitution.
Mhm.
But even then, in the Constitution, when it was written, people did not have freedom of speech. Let's look at the females historically. Okay, and then let's look at the slaves. They were still treated and shown that they couldn't say what they want to say.
Are you
Now,
talking
if you-
about when the bill first passed and they said they were free, but it took its own kind of slow trajectory to actually get some kind of impact of that?
Yeah, the freedom of speech really, let's be honest, and the amendment was really geared towards the vanilla people.
Not the flavor, the flavor.
It really was not intended for us unless you were arrested and you became a free slave by the state or by the government.
A free slave by the state or the government, making it sound like you were a tool or an asset instead of a human being.
Well, if you look at the amendment like the 13th Amendment, if any people that have any understanding of the 13th Amendment, they understand what I'm saying. Now, for those that lack the knowledge or refuse to understand and go off what he says, she say type of thing, because you refuse to read, refuse to increase your knowledge, that's why we're in the situations that we're in now. Then look at the documentary of the 13th Amendment, since some don't want to read. And you'll understand that we so-called have rights unless we're being incarcerated. And now we are on a certain number of years by the state or by the federal government being behind bars. For free
So
labor.
at that point, freedom is definitely gone, and then, like you say, just became free labor. And then historically, if you really think about it, I'm just going to focus just onto America. That's where I have, I believe, the most reliance of. Of course, I know other countries have its own thing, but it seems like a lot of people, especially political leaders or just leaders in general in the community, when they want to speak up, it's like it comes at a cost, and that cost can be a lot of different things. Unfortunately, of course, the most devastating one can be a person's life, but
Mhm,
it also can be some other things like your job, your reputation,
mhm,
your connections,
mhm.
and it really makes you think like, is freedom of speech really free? Because it's at times it really don't feel like it. People are actually afraid to speak their mind because the risks that may come involved with that on the back end.
Everything you're saying is absolutely correct. Freedom of speech is really not free, not for minorities. And I know you might have some vanilla type people,
Them ice cream
some
flavors.
Oreo type
Hitting
people
them with
that may
them
be
ice cream
listening
flavors.
and watching. But when you really think about it, when you are a minority, no matter who says what, you don't have any freedom of speech. Let's go back to football, Kaepernick.
Oh man, we're going to archives, but yes, it's a great one. Go ahead.
That's one good example right there. Now, another example, if minority players, which are the black players, either in NBA or say, for example, the NFL, if they stood up for what is right
Hmm.
and spoke about what's right and what's wrong, then the vanilla people get in their feelings and then they want to mess with the players' money as to keep their mouth closed, take the endorsements away, and the and try to make their image tarnished because they're standing up for something. So, is it really free? No. Those type of athletes, honestly, all they are is rich slaves that masters still control.
And I don't even want to really get too deep into the Cole Kaepernick because, like, in the heat of it, I was upset myself because during that season, because people forget that he actually led his team to a Super Bowl. Now he didn't get the championship, but he got to the big game, the main stage of them all. Let's not forget, you have plenty of NFL quarterbacks out there in the league who had like their starting job afterwards, who didn't even touch the Super Bowl. Now
Mhm.
you're gonna have a different analysis gonna say he didn't do this, he don't do that, these statistics on that. But the bottom line is he still got to the Super Bowl. I don't give a damn what you say. If it don't take, I mean, I put it like this: it takes some skill in front of thousands of people. You playing people that's 200 or 300, 400 pounds, chasing you to crush you, to bring your team to a Super Bowl, the main event. I don't give a damn what you say. Your average Joe ass is not gonna do it like that easy. So why you try to dismiss his
But
skill
the
set
thing
because of that?
about it is
And that
this.
happened when he started speaking up, of course.
Yes, and the thing about it is this. The vanilla people, the men of the vanilla people likes power, likes control to the point that they prefer damaging themselves and everyone around them to maintain the illusion of power and control and also maintain the illusion again that they are so-called believers in Christ. They're so-called believe in God, but they fail to understand this one simple thing. Their action does not meet what's in scripture. Not what they say, but what they do.
Now that among itself is pretty deep too, because that's gonna get on people's skin. And let's not forget, people use the religious podium for leverage. And then even on top of that, you have those who are in leadership, especially in the church. Because remember, there was a time when people leaned onto the church, especially for peace of mind, community building, and much more. But now it's like there's like certain constrictions and drawbacks of what you can say in the church now.
Because
And
the church
so
has become part of and sorry to interrupt, but the church has become part, they say you're born in the world, but doesn't mean you have to be of the world. See, the church was created in the world, but not to be part of the world. But now the churches want to be part of the world. And this is the problem. And this is the reason why it does not align with scripture, which doesn't align in what they so called believe are they faith. Their only faith in their belief is in themselves, not in God.
And I definitely agree with that too. And then you have the pressure of the money and support that they have, and they pretty much cringe and crumble to like the mainstream to get the support. And it's like, where is the actual morals at, or where is the foundation of everything, the whole thing, everything together? Hold on a second. Oop,
Yeah, you're absolutely correct.
so it's like now it's like we are censoring the pulpit. So, do they even got freedom of speech? I mean, this goes in so many different realms, from political,
They don't.
job
They,
environment, in the church house, at home at times, in
they don't.
different organizations. Do we actually have freedom of speech? Because a lot of times when this happens and people say that, there's always threats like, you better not say this, or you better not say this, I'm going to take your check, or you say this, I'm going to take your
Because
job.
people are in their feelings. People are in their feelings, and their feelings is a reflection of who they really, really, really are, brother. And you and I have talked about it several times. People's action is a reflection of who they really are on the inside. Everybody wants to walk around with brick walls and mask who they really are, but they fail to understand out of their stupidity is that your actions reflect who you really are and how you really think and feel about someone.
And that don't give a damn about how you feel. It's pretty much actions, and you have actual data of what you've done in the past. It's there. It is. Don't matter how you feel, your actions showcases who you are. And we're in this kind of environment where people like to defend and lean against and be behind our shadow, behind their feelings, instead of just looking as is. And with that said, also in my own opinion, I think speech comes at a cost. Are you willing to pay it though? Because that's how I'm looking at it. Because
I
if you want to go ahead,
no, go ahead. I want you to finish that.
because if you
'Cause
want to speak your mind of
Mhm.
whatever perspective, beliefs, or what you stand on, are you willing to pay the cost? And like I said a couple of moments earlier, it can be a lot of different things that it may cost. It may be
Mhm.
your job, it may be your position, it may be the connections you know, and then of course the ultimate cost, which I don't want to see, but it has not happened historically, is life, death.
I I I think this people talk a good game, right? People have not gotten the understanding of accepting that their life going to be taken. They understand that I can take life, but they can't
Hmm.
understand that my life can be taken. And if you look at, and I'm glad you brought it up, if you really look at the concept, let's look at the scriptures, right? Christ, when he walked on the earth, he had his disciples, but he was alone.
Right.
He stood for what is right. He spoke for what is right for everything and everyone, and it costed his life, and he knew that was coming.
Ultimate sacrifice. He definitely already knew.
Okay, then you have Dr. Martin Luther King. You
I was
have
about to bring
Malcolm
that
X.
up too.
You have those individuals who were speaking to make things better for everyone, even though you have those neo Nazis and people like that who think differently because they have some type of mental issue in regards to who and what they really are and what they are. Okay. They have given their life, right? But the majority of the people are followers. 85% of the people on this earth are followers. 10% are actually leaders, and 5% are completely observers. And the observers are the ones that are more dangerous because they can see what the leaders are trying to do to manipulate the followers.
And
And
they're
the thing
taking all
about
that
it is,
information for their
Exactly.
next move.
And so wherever the wind blows, that's where the followers are gonna go. And so and what I'm saying is this, they knew it was gonna happen. They were trying to help and make the world better. But then when you have a vanilla individual who does the opposite and
That's
something
nice replay.
happens, and then something happens, then it's like, let me praise this person who did the complete opposite of destruction, not construction. And those that try to do construction, not destruction, we're told to get over.
Which
So
is
how
very
is that free?
aggravating, especially when you have a loved one's life is lost and much more, like the impact of that. And this has been historically through Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, and much more. And it at times it's like if you really want to see change, especially in America, and America has a history of that, it sounds like, yeah, you can speak your mind, but unfortunately, through history, it's like the ultimate sacrifice for that is life. Like Martin Luther King, and again, I don't condone death for anyone, but look at how great Martin Luther King. He was peaceful. He tried to stand for some strong morals and much more.
Mhm.
But he knew, especially when it was at that peak moment, that he was about to take the ultimate sacrifice. You can hear it in his speech. When you hear someone say, like, I may not make it over with you to the other side, I like he already knew. He knew things were getting heated and he was pretty much about to get to that point of change. But it's gonna cost.
See, the thing about it is this fear. Fear of hearing the truth. That is why freedom of speech is really not free. It's just an illusion. Because if freedom of speech was free, then everyone would have their opinions and how they think and feel about certain situations without being penalized, or without the government coming in and saying, hey, if you say something bad about an individual, this is what we're going to do. You're going to be in trouble. We're going to investigate you. We're going to put you out. When the individual had nothing to do with the government, no government affiliation, nothing whatsoever. But you see how there's a difference, but yet and still we're not free because some people are afraid.
Because the cost.
Because you have teachers, educators that don't agree, but they can't say anything because they'll get fired.
Loss of job.
So when you have that, this country was never free, never will be free. And so my thing is simple. Like Marcus Garvey would suggest, get your stuff together and leave this country to them and let them see how to plant their own crops, pick their own crops, fix their own
Resources.
plumbing, have dedicated people in the military. Because let's be real, vanilla people are not as dedicated in the military as what you think. Trust me, I know because I've seen and heard people, vanilla people, avoid going to war, claiming to have PTSD because they didn't want to go to war. So, where's the dedication coming from? And the fact that if you have so much freedom,
This guy was good.
in regards to being able to say something if you're a minority, why is it, like I said and used the example for the NFL, why is it they always shut you down? And I give another example. Why is it when an individual, minority, especially black person, makes it, they're talked bad when they go to the community they came from to help them? But if they help a vanilla person in that community, they're giving praises. But he can't say anything in regards to the differences in how things are viewed. That's not free.
That's programming and pretty much a slave. There's a whole lot of different things. And I want you to give your thoughts on this before we close it out. Is freedom really free? And I want you to speak on it from a military experience, not here in America, from people putting their life on the line and fighting for the country. Is freedom really free?
No, it's not. It's an illusion. It's a program. It's all fictitious. It's all a lie. Because why do I still have to watch what I say and how I say? Because I might get threatened because of a vanilla person or neo-Nazis or whatever, or from hate group, don't like what I'm saying, which is the truth and facts, not opinion, based on data of history from the past to the present and what will happen in the future. Why do I still have to watch what I say? Freedom is not as free as you think in the military. Even in the military, you cannot say certain things
Crazy.
that you can say if you're a civilian. You lost a large percentage of your rights when you're in the military. Now, this new military, I don't know what the hell that is. It's more like a Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts.
Oh
type
Lord.
crap.
Oh Lord.
But the real military, you cannot say what you want to say without repercussion. And so, no, even when you fight, it's not free. Unless you're a vanilla person.
Man, oh man. The Sim has said it himself. So go ahead and let the people know where they can find you at.
Oh man, you can always find me every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time right here, but on a different channel, which is In the Trenches Podcast. And guess what? It's spelled THA. So make sure you like, subscribe, show some support. But don't just show support for me on In the Trenches Podcast, but also show support for also this podcast that we're talking on as well. So and of course, Chris is on mine, and we talk the way we talk. We real, we raw. But guess what? I'm gonna tell you, I'm not gonna play games with you. I'm gonna be real. Now, you can play the reindeer games with the vanilla people and all that. I will do it on In the Trenches.
And he has spoken. And of course, it's the host, as always, C. Holmes, with street topics being raw, real topics that you are afraid of, but we are not. We talking about the freedom of speech. What's your thoughts? Go ahead and leave your comments and concerns in the description below, because we want to hear your point of view, because your voice is what matters, what makes a podcast live. So don't be afraid to voice your opinion. So again, is freedom of speech really free? Or does it come at a cost?
No. You should play that song. To the no.
Hail to the no. Are you willing to pay the cost for freedom or freedom of speech? Until next time, peace out.
Peace.